No, so we'll take off your clothes. Why would you take off his She's not going to come up to you and say, you don't ask us. I promise you. I'm going to tell her very what do you say? Oh, because she's such a rebel. She's telling me I can't.
Okay, get that. I mean, it's crowded. It's actually easy.
We had so much. I don't even know. And so like, and I just like I feel like I'm in a good movie, and I feel like there's gonna be a deer, and there's an otter. Did you see it? It's like a lot of thing up the next bridge, and then I didn't get up there this fall, and so now I'm like, I need to experience it. I just, there's so much to see. From Texas and Kansas, like I've never been here.
Well, good morning. And welcome to our service. We are the Rogue Valley Unitarian Universalist Fellowship, or RUF, R-V-U-U-F, in Ashland, Oregon. My name is Katie Fox, and I'm a part of RUF because, I'm going to digress just a second. How many of you participated in the holiday craft fair, helped make it happen? I see some hands that aren't going up that should. Okay. That's us, to me, embodying our 7 principles. And we are not perfect at it, but I know we all work to make it happen for ourselves and for the fellowship. So it is a wonderful thing to be a part of that, and that's why I'm a member of this congregation. We are so happy to welcome you to our service today, both online and in person. We want to especially thank the members of the stream team up there in the balcony who are helping make the online service happen, and the members of the neighborhood team who welcome the congregation, and the choir who makes such beautiful music. If you are a newcomer, we invite you to sign up for our mailing list, News to Note, on rvuuf.org. You then will receive a weekly email that gives you all the information you need to make your decision about whether or not you'd like to attend in person or online on Sunday. And a big plus, you will also learn about other great things going on at Roof. We are so glad to have you with us for the service, and we invite you to join us in our mission of embracing diversity, empowering connection, and engaging in the work. We begin each service by acknowledging that our building is built on land that began as the home of the Cow Creek Umpqua, Tacoma, Shasta, and the Gawa people. We remind ourselves that Indigenous people are part of our community and continue to experience the effects of colonization. We are committed to fighting for the worth and dignity of Indigenous people, both in our community and around the world. We are also committed to work for a world in which the lives, work, bodies, dreams, and leadership of Black people are honored and respected. We do all this by putting our words, values, and principles into action every day, as I was sharing, for justice and common good. These services are a part of that work. Welcome, and thank you for being with us.
In honor of those Indigenous peoples mentioned here for this area of the country, today's opening is from the Chumash. The Chumash are a Native American people just south of us from Morro Bay to Upper Los Angeles County, where I spent most of my adult life. This chant welcomes the sun and thanks it for its warmth, which we could use a little more of right now. Please join me in this blessing by placing your hands in your lap, palms up. Hey, 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 go, 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 hey, hey, go, hey. Good morning. Now that we're all awake, I'm Julie Crooks. I'm the music director here at Roof. For those of you who might be visiting today, you would usually see our minister, Reverend Sean, up here. But as is customary in UU churches, several times a year, we offer something a little bit different. And this is one of those times. I'm very excited to see all of you here today. I was afraid after everybody working so hard yesterday that no one would show up. This morning's service is a look into the songs and symbols we often associate with Christmas. And as most of you already know, they started long before the first Christmas. Out of the days of bustle and shoulds and ought tos of preparation, we come to this morning to create time and space in our lives to reflect on this mad rush of busyness. May our time together serve to give us greater perspective beyond the tinsel and the toys, to remember once again the larger meaning we might give to this holiday season, for us and for those who are counted among the forgotten and the outcast. Let us hold this in our minds as we embark on today and beyond. Katie, can you see that? Oh, thank you. We have a special announcement this morning. Lois and Zoe have something to say. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. Would Corinne Lucas please come up?
Don't forget the bottle.
I know she really doesn't like a lot of personal attention, but we're sorry. Okay, the holiday craft fair, of which I think you've said it all. I think you've said it all. I believe that Corinne just represents our mission all by herself. I mean, truly, embracing diversity, the numbers of people that were here yesterday, and the diversity among them, especially the children, was just wonderful. She spends hundreds and hundreds of hours getting this craft fair together, organizing it, gathering the materials. It's just incredible. Empowering connection and engaging in the work. Again, how many of us were here? You know, and it's just a wonderful thing to be with each other in a different way. And Corinne does that for us in so many different ways. And these are just a couple of little things to show you that we care about you, Corinne, and we're so very grateful you're with us.
Now as throughout the ages, light, whether from a single candle or from a blazing primordial fire, has summoned within human minds the vision of that in us that is ultimate and eternal. As we light our chalice this morning, we rekindle that spirit of meaning. We celebrate by the warmth of the fire, the depth and breadth of our religious community. We celebrate by the light of its fire, the faith we all share.
Please join me in our opening song this morning, number 224 in your gray hymnal. This is a new tune to this congregation, so the choir is going to sing the first verse for you. Please stand as you're willing and able, and let's see what it sounds like. Ready, ready?
Christmas come, its lovely song. Good morning. I'm Roger Howe. With me is Rosalie Wolf. We are here representing the anti-racism group. And I would comment before I read the reading that we light a candle. And, you know, it's only a symbol. It has to be a symbol of a greater commitment in order for it to do any good at all. So I read from Common Prayer, a liturgy for ordinary radicals. Peacemaking doesn't mean passivity. Pardon me. It is the act of interrupting the injustice without mirroring injustice. The act of disarming evil without destroying the evildoer. The act of finding a third way that is neither fight nor flight, but the careful, arduous pursuit of reconciliation and justice. It is about a revolution of love that is big enough to set both the oppressed and the oppressor free.
It has become our practice to light a candle each week for peace. We pray for the power to be gentle, the strength to be forgiving, the patience to be understanding, and the endurance to accept the consequences of holding on to what we believe to be right. May we put our trust in the power of good to overcome evil and the power of love to overcome hatred. Amen, Ashe, and blessed be. Peace. So this morning, I have a book to read. If anyone would like to come to the front and have a seat, I will show you the pictures. I have to apologize, the book is a little bit small, which means that the pictures are even smaller, but I'll do my best. Are you going to help me? Okie dokie. You're really close. Okay. Then you can see the pictures. Okay. I'll try. You know what? You might be too close. Because I'm going to hold the pictures up here and you won't be able to see. So this book is called Ish by Peter Reynolds. It has a very pretty pink inside. You don't like pink? It's not my favorite either, to be perfectly honest. My mother dressed me in pink and I hated it. You don't do that to a tomboy. So here's the story. Ramon loved to draw. See him drawing? They're lying on the floor. Anytime, anything, anywhere. He's sitting in the bathroom on the pot drawing. Hey, you know, works. One day, Ramon was drawing a vase of flowers. His brother Leon leaned over his shoulder. Leon burst out laughing. "What is that?" he asked. Ramon could not even answer. He just crumpled up the drawing and threw it across the room. Leon's laughter haunted Ramon. He kept trying to make his drawings look right, but they never did. After many months and many crumpled sheets of paper, Ramon put his pencil down. "I'm done." Marisol, his sister, who was watching him, "What do you want?" he snapped. "I was watching you draw," she said. Ramon sneered. "I'm not doing that. Go away." Marisol ran away, but not before picking up the crumpled piece of paper. "Hey, come back here with that." Ramon raced after Marisol, up the hall, and into her room. What's there? For those of you in the back, there are crumpled pieces of paper smoothed out and put all over the walls of her room. He was about to yell, but fell silent when he saw his sister's walls. He stared at the crumpled gallery. "This is one of my favorites," Marisol said, pointing. "That was supposed to be a vase of flowers," Ramon said, "but it doesn't look like one." "Well, it looks vase-ish," she exclaimed. "Vase-ish?" Ramon looked closer. Then he studied all the drawings on Marisol's walls and began to see them in a whole new way. "They do look ish," he said. Ramon felt light and energized. Thinking ishly allowed his ideas to flow freely. He began to draw what he felt, loose lines quickly springing out without worry. Ramon once again drew and drew the world around him. Making an ish drawing felt wonderful. Tree-ish, house-ish, boat-ish, afternoon-ish, fish-ish, sun-ish. Ramon realized he could draw ish feelings too. His ish art inspired ish writing. He wasn't sure if he was writing poems, but he knew they were poem-ish. One spring morning, Ramon had a wonderful feeling. How about if you go over that way so they can see the book? One spring morning, Ramon had a wonderful feeling. It was a feeling that even ish words and ish drawings could not capture. He decided not to capture it. Instead, he simply savored it. And Ramon lived ishfully ever after. The end, ish. Ah, Christmas Day, December the 25th, the day that Jesus was born. Or is it? No, it's ish. Yeah. No one knows exactly what day that Jesus of Nazareth was born. There is no official record of his birth, And the evangelists, who wrote of Jesus approximately 70 years after his birth, left a record of his teachings, but did not mention his actual birth date. For 300 years after the death of Jesus, Christians celebrated his birth on a variety of dates, including January 7th, which is still the date celebrated by Russian Orthodox churches. Sometime close to the year 350 AD, Pope Julius proclaimed December 25th as the date of the birth of Jesus. Apparently, the date was chosen on the basis of two unlikely sources: existing pagan practices and an important military conquest. In the old Roman calendar, December 25th was the shortest day of the year. From that date on, the sun would renew itself and burn longer each day until midsummer. To those who studied the sky, the day was sacred, a day of mystery and wonder. This date was also particularly important to the Roman army. When the lands of the Persians were taken by the Romans, they were exposed to a religion called Mithraism. Mithra, the Persian god of light, was born at the end of a week-long celebration beginning on December 17th and ending on December 25th. The day the light began to renew itself, a signal for celebration. For reasons unknown today, this religion quickly converted huge numbers of soldiers and subsequently their families. And because most emperors came from an army background, it eventually appeared in Rome. So although the Romans actually recognized many religions, Mithraism was eventually designated as the official state religion. As an interesting coincidence, Mithraism baptized its initiates, promised a share of the resurrection, and took part in regular communion meals of bread and wine. You'll notice there's a pattern here. Like my daughter used to say when she was little, "Oh, look, Mommy, there's a pattern." Many other pagan religions celebrated on or around December 25th as well. We can find similar myths in Europe, as in the Norse festival, South American indigenous people, ancient Celtic Druids, Persian, Oriental, and African religions all recognize the shortest day of the year, the renewal of light, and the rebirth of the need to be reassured that the gods would take care of them, that darkness would gradually end, and that we could all look forward again to a year of warmth and hope. Over hundreds of years, ancient celebrations and folk traditions have blended together. And as Christianity spread, converts simply added the Christian ways to their old traditions. As time went by, however, Christmas celebrations started to resemble those old pagan rites just a little too much. Too much merrymaking, too much feasting. Christmas was beginning to lose its religious significance. In fact, Puritans, Christians whose intent was to cleanse and purify the church, enacted a law that prohibited the celebration of Christmas. After emigrating to the New World, they continued this practice. And in Massachusetts, from 1659 until 1681, Christmas was actually illegal and punishable by a fine. But no matter what we celebrate now, that joyousness that comes with the sun returning, the reassurance that supernatural powers, be caring and kind, are still reflected in our decorations, our songs, and how we celebrate this holiday season. Certainly the spelling and connotations have changed, but December 25th is still the birthday of the sun. Speaking of the date of Jesus' birth, most people assume that the number of the current year is the number of years that have passed since the birth of Jesus. At least that's what I was taught. Well, probably not. Sometime in the 6th century, a monk by the name of Dionysius Exiguus, Dennis the Little, and I'm not going to go there at all, separated history into the time before Jesus was born, BC, and the time after, AD. Whatever his other attributes, however, Dennis apparently was not very good at math. We know from the Bible that Jesus was born in the reign of Herod. According to Dennis's own calculations, Herod died in 4 BC. The biblical description of the visit of the Magi to Herod's court make no mention of Herod being ill, so we assume that this visit took place a few years before his death, placing Jesus' birth about 6 or 7 BC. If this is true, it might explain the miraculous Star of Bethlehem. That star you might have on the top of your tree celebrates what the Bible tells us is a miracle. The study of Bethlehem and the Star of Bethlehem sent by God to mark the birth of Jesus. Possibly, yes, but there is also another explanation. In Jesus' time, one of the functions of pagan priests was to use their knowledge of the stars to advise us when to plant crops and when to harvest. There were too many professional star watchers knowledgeable about comets and shooting stars to mistake one of those common objects for a miraculous phenomenon. Wise men would not have set out on a long journey because of a comet or a simple shooting star. And in the cold December nights, it was pretty unlikely that shepherds would be out tending their flocks at night either. In fact, shepherds hardly ever attend their flocks at night unless it's lambing season. Push the date of Jesus' birth a little into February, closer to spring lambing season, however, and you might have something spectacular. On February 6th, in the year 6 BC, an event occurred that might well have been regarded as a miraculous sign. Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn lined up together in the sky and glowed with a startling brilliance, as if they were one celestial body. While the conjunction of 2 planets was not a particularly rare event, the conjunction of these 3 planets only occurs once every 805 years. So astronomers would not have had prior knowledge of it. Even if it was recognized as a triple planet juncture, its rarity may well have been regarded as so special as to be a miraculous sign of some sort. Those who believed that stars controlled their destinies must have been overwhelmed by what they saw. Each planet involved in the conjunction had been assigned a role in men's affairs and represented something significant in their lives. The planet Jupiter, the king of the gods; the planet Saturn, the protector of Jews; and Mars, the god of war. Combine these beliefs with the fact that the new star was seen in the constellation of Pisces, which astronomers called the House of the Hebrews, and the new star takes on enormous significance. The astrologers read these signs to mean that a king would be born to the Hebrews and that his birth would lead to war against established Roman rule. No wonder Herod grew fearful and sent out his soldiers to slay the newborn king of the Jews. So why was it said that this miraculous star appeared over Bethlehem? If you've ever looked up at a star, it's pretty difficult to determine what point exactly on Earth it's actually hovering over. So the wise men were simply following the star they had seen in the east. According to the book of Matthew, Herod demanded that his wise men tell where the Christ child would be born. Hebrew prophets had predicted that when the Messiah came, he would be from the house of, meaning descended from, David. Bethlehem was the city of David. Apparently, everyone just sort of assumed that when the Messiah came, he would have to come from Bethlehem. So perhaps the star was just as the Bible tells us, a miraculous sign hovering directly over the manger in Bethlehem, sent by God to announce glad tidings to the world. Ish. But it certainly works for me as a cheerful and lively symbol that twinkles atop our Christmas tree. Our next tune is a partner song. The choir will sing the new tune, and then you will add the first Noel to it. I'll let you know when it's your turn to sing, and the insert in your order of service has the words for you. So again, the choir is going to sing, and then I'm going to invite you to join us singing the first Noel while they sing the partner song, which is called Little Star. You might as well just stand up now.
Little star, holy star, how you sparkle and glow, with your light shining bright on a manger below. Of the stars high above, somehow yours was a light that would shine so divine on that glorious night. Oh, beautiful star, how you brighten the earth and tell all the world of a wondrous birth. Little stars, holy star, they settle and say, was your sunshine showers on the manger below? And the stars high above, some of yours was the light that would shine so divine on that glorious night. Oh, beautiful star, how you brighten the earth and tells the King of wondrous spell. Little star, holy star, how you sparkle and say, with the light shining bright on a manger below. Of the stars high above, somehow yours was the light that would shine so divine on that glorious night. Oh, beautiful star, how you brighten the earth and tell the King of wondrous birth. Oh, beautiful star, how you brighten the earth and tell the King of wondrous
That was fun. As surprising as this may seem to some of us, the birth of Jesus is actually just one in a long line of other famous virgin births. I did not know that either. As far back as 300 BC, ancient Egyptians worshipped the god Osiris, who fathered, after his death, an earthly son named Horus. The birth, announced by 3 wise men and symbolized by 3 stars in Orion's belt, took place in a manger on the winter solstice. Around 2000 BC, ancient Syrians and Babylonians worshipped the god Dumuzi, who was born on the winter solstice to a virgin named Melita. Also around 2000 BC, Persians began worshipping Mithra, a sun god born to a god father and a human virgin mother named Anahita in a cave on December 25th. The birth was witnessed by shepherds who brought gifts. Buddha, a mortal sage named Siddhartha Gautama, was said to have been born of a virgin named Maya and visited by wise men who acknowledged his divinity. And as early as the 10th century AD, the Aztecs of ancient Mexico worshipped Quetzalcoatl, a great Toltec deity who was the son of the virgin goddess Coatlicue. For some reason, Western civilization has latched onto only one of these miraculous births and not the others. Nonetheless, we cannot dismiss the image of Mary and her baby Jesus when we think of Christmas. Our next tune is not at all traditional, but it was too fun to pass up.
Baby, rock, 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 you little baby, rock, child in the stable tonight. Oh, Mary, rock, 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 you little baby, rock your baby in the heavenly light. Oh, Mary, rock, rock, you little baby, rock, child in the stable tonight. Oh, Mary, rock, you little baby, rock your baby in the heavenly light. Mary, Mary, rock your little baby, rock your child in the stable tonight. Mary, Mary, rock your little baby, rock your baby in the heavenly light. Angels join in the lullaby as the stars shine bright in the winter sky. Shepherds travel far and wide just to kneel at the baby's side. Mary, Mary, rock your little baby, rock your child in the stable tonight. Mary, Mary, rock your little baby, rock your baby in the heavenly light. Holy angels and the Lord have come to offer us peace and love. Join me now in the song of praise on this happiest day of days. Mary, Mary, rock your little baby, rock your child in the stable tonight. Mary, Mary, rock your little baby, rock your baby in the heavenly light. Rock your baby tonight, oh Mary, rock your baby tonight. Rock your baby tonight, rock your baby in the holy light. Mary, Mary, rock your little baby, rock your child in the stable tonight. Mary, Mary, rock your little baby, rock your baby in the heavenly light. Yes, rock your baby in the heavenly. Oh, Mary, rock your baby tonight.
Now you can see why I couldn't pass that up. And now, in that spirit of joy, each week we take an offering to support the mission and the work of our congregation. Your generosity provides the vast majority of the financial support for the programs, services, outreach, and staffing of our congregation. Your giving is immediately put to work, putting our principles into action in our community and beyond. If you are joining us online, you can give in one of several ways. You can mail a check to 87 4th Street, Ashland, Oregon, 97520. You can go to tiny.url.com/ RVUUF offering and follow the instructions there. Or you can text a $ and the amount you'd like to donate to 541-229-4229. If you need support, please contact Reverend Sean using the form on roof.org. We will do our best to help. We will now gratefully receive the morning offering. Do you want to go to the bottom of the step and collect them? No, when they're ready. Thank you, everyone, for your generosity this morning. You know what I always say, it's always good in a UU church if you can be as generous with your treasure as you can with your opinion. Now, the whole setting of Jesus' birth is another interesting topic. Around 1000 AD, cribs of gold and silver decorated with precious stones could be found in churches throughout the Roman Empire. St. Francis of Assisi, however, wanted to remind people of the solemn religious meaning of the holiday based on the description in the Bible. Based on is an important point. It was ish. Francis's love of animals prompted him to add the ox, ass, and sheep, which are not mentioned in the biblical passage. It was Francis's conception of the manger creche that we see so frequently. The whole manger thing is probably a mistranslation anyway, since the original Greek word used in Luke actually means house or guest room. At that time in Palestine, peasants lived in meager homes and kept their farm animals penned under a raised wooden floor to provide warmth and smell, I would guess. It seems more likely that Joseph and Mary showed up at the home of Joseph's relatives in Bethlehem and, finding the guest room full, stayed below with the animals a couple of nights before moving upstairs to the main floor. Regardless of the details, the pastoral image of the newly born sleeping Christ child, his two loving parents, and a variety of animals tenderly watching from nearby has provided us with one of the most indelible images of Christmas. No carol or hymn has put this put this image into a more perfect setting than the famous Stille Nacht. The story of this magical piece goes back to Christmas Eve of 1818 in Oberndorf, Austria. Here, the assistant priest, Joseph Mohr, despaired as he realized that the service that evening would have no music. The church's ancient organ had finally drawn its last breath that very afternoon. And actually, one of the people in the choir pointed out that it was because the mice had chewed through the bellows. Maybe they chewed through the heater, too. Perhaps he thought if he could find the right words, as simple as the Bible story, something that every child could understand. He could ask Franz Gruber, the organist, to compose an easy tune like a folk song. When he had finished 6 verses, he hurried off to the Gruber's home where they were preparing for Christmas. "I need a little tune for this song," Father Moore said. "A simple tune for our 2 voices and my guitar. An easy tune, like a lullaby, to make us see Bethlehem and the baby lying in a manger." The tale of Stille Nacht goes on for many years, sung throughout Austria, then Europe, and finally into America. The version we sing now is perhaps the most authentic version, with the verses sung initially as duets, with the full chorus taking up the refrain. The manuscript of the original 2-stanza version is still in the possession of the Von Trapp family. In 1863, the piece was translated into English, becoming perhaps the best-loved Christmas carol of all time, Silent Night. We'll sing that in English on Christmas Eve. You don't have to learn the German. So, the bells of Christmas. Certainly the bells are rung on other days as well, a signal to call churchgoers to prayer perhaps, but Christmas bells have a history going back again to, surprise, pagan times. The winter solstice was a time to consult omens, to predict a person's fortunes for the coming year. This was serious business, and people did not come unprepared. Evil spirits were driven out by noise, horn and whistle blowing, beating drums, and ringing bells. Many of these traditions have been sanitized from their pagan purposes and passed on to us as practices suitable for Christian celebrations. The ringing of church bells, as well as the sound of sleigh bells, are now traditionally associated with Christmas. But don't let the modern guises fool you. Those noisemakers at New Year's Eve, the English Christmas crackers at your table, the ones with the little surprise or funny hat inside, are still really just pagan traditions cleaned up for church.
Ding dong, ding dong, ding ding dong, ding ding a ding a dong, ding ding dong, ding ding dong, ding ding a ding a dong, ding ding a ding ding dong. Ding dong merrily on high, the holiday bells are ringing, carols ringing in the sky. Children all are singing, Gloria, Gloria, Gloria. The holidays fill the air with singing, Gloria. Bright music now is ringing, ding dong. Ding dong, ding dong, ding a dong, ding ding a ding a dong. Up down in the bells below, the steeple bells are swinging, music everywhere we go, and all the people singing, Gloria, 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 Gloria. The holidays fill the air with singing, Gloria, Gloria. Ring out the bells, ring out the bells. Join the singing, join the bright and joyful music for the holidays. Ding dong, ding a ding a ding a dong, ding a ding a ding a dong, ding a ding a ding a dong. Ring holiday bells, ring on.
Bells are lovely, stars are festive, but certainly the most recognizable Christmas symbol, besides Santa Claus, is the ever-present Christmas tree. Whether you chop yours down, buy it at Home Depot, or take yours from a box in the garage, did you ever wonder, how did decorated fir trees become part of celebrating the birth of the Christ child? Bringing greenery into the home during the shortest days of the year can be traced back to Egypt during the festival of Saturnalia, when Romans decorated buildings with pine, holly, and ivy. And oh, that reminds me, mistletoe doesn't actually have any specific association with Christmas other than it's able to bear fruit in the winter. It is associated with love and kindness and magical powers based on an Old Norse myth, however. And I know you'll be shocked to hear once again that pagan tribes in ancient Germany regarded Tannenbaum, literally fir tree, as fertility symbols because their leaves thrived in the cold winter months as if by magic. People in Germanic lands where fir trees and holly were plentiful thought that those evergreen plants had magical powers and could ward off evil spirits. Not surprisingly, the church forbade the use of greenery during early Christmas celebrations because of its close association with such pagan rituals. But recognizing the wisdom of, if you can't beat 'em, join 'em, Pope Gregory instructed Augustine of Canterbury to follow the custom of decorating churches with festive greenery for Christmas in 601 AD. Furthering the story of how fir trees became associated with Christmas is a perhaps literary invention about Saint Boniface. The oak tree was sacred to the Celtic Druids. At the winter solstice, they decorated oaks with candles and apples painted gold. Doesn't that sound pretty? In the legend, on an 8th century Christmas Eve, solstice night, outside the town of Gaimar, St. Boniface chopped down a huge oak that had previously been used for human sacrifices. He was apparently determined to prove to a group of German Druids that their sacred oak tree was not divine. The giant oak fell, crushing everything but a small fir sapling. Boniface told the assembled barbarians that this young tree's survival was a miracle of the baby Jesus, and that it should be their holy tree, starting a tradition of planting fir saplings to celebrate Christmas. How planting them became chopping them down, I have no idea. By the 16th century, Germans were decorating trees with apples and nuts, gilt and roses cut from colored paper. It was during that period that Martin Luther, apparently better at religious reform than safety issues, is credited as the first person to put candles on a tree to simulate the twinkling stars of the heavens. The tradition of the Tannenbaum, or Christbaum, as it is also known, spread to Albert of Germany, married England's Queen Victoria. Now, if you live in a part of the world without fir trees and don't have access to Amazon, you have to use something different. In India, people decorate mango and banana trees, and in Italy, instead of Christmas trees, people decorate wooden pyramids with fruit. Now, please use your insert in your order of worship and join the choir in singing about this wonderful holiday symbol. We will use the text, O Tannenbaum, rather than O Christmas tree. Sing together. Although it may feel right about now, if you're out shopping, that Christmas carols have been going on for much too long, Once there were no carols because the church wanted to promote only Latin hymns instead. The word carol originally meant dance music. It was joyous music. And when it had words, they were in the everyday language of the people. Carols were not originally even connected to Christmas, which was dominated by hymn singing. By the 13th century, however, our old friend Saint Francis longed to be more human, having an emotional appeal to the holiday. He tried to incorporate lay folk music into the Christmas celebrations. As his Franciscan brethren preached throughout Italy, they also brought these new Christmas songs. Many of the carols most familiar to us were written in Europe during the 18th century, where they went in and out of popularity based on the whims of ruling parties. But by the mid-19th century, the church had finally accepted carols as part of the Christmas tradition. Today, unfortunately, Christmas tunes have taken on an entirely commercial slant, and new tunes continue to be written on a yearly basis. Interestingly enough, 8 out of the 10 top Christmas songs of all time were written by Jewish composers. So, as we have discovered, or perhaps many of you already knew, our Christmas practices have many ancestors. The season and day from pagan druids, the nativity from pious monks, carols from England, and trees and greens from Germany. And perhaps that is how it should be. It certainly does sound very Unitarian to me. Christmas may have come from many lands and a blend of many traditions, yet everywhere it is celebrated, it reflects the same poignant human yearnings for warmth, for love, and a reason for hope. So when someone asks you, where does Christmas come from? Give them an honest answer. It comes from our hearts. Please join me in our closing hymn, number 248, Oh, We Believe in Christmas. The choir is going to sing the first verse for you. Please stand as you're willing and able. The choir is going to sing the first verse, and then please join in with us on verses 2 through 4. Now, although we may understand our traditions a little bit better, let us also remember that Christmas is more than a date on the calendar, a beautiful tree, or the sound of carols. Christmas is a mood, a sentiment, a symbol in itself. It is home and hearth, the excitement and anticipation of children, the remembrance of friends, and the love of a family. It is a time to gather the dreams of centuries for a peaceful world, a time when goodwill towards others is reborn, and our hearts are open to holiness, whatever form that may take. Amen, Ashe, and blessed be.